Yes, people, what's happening? And welcome back to the Frankie Allen Podcast. You are here with your host, Will Cranny, alongside the UK's most feared comedian, Frankie Allen. Frank, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic, doing great. Great to be back here.
Glad to be back on the podcast. And if you are not watching this and you're listening to it, I just want to give you a little bit of a description of Frank's outfit. He has got the bright yellow trackie on, the brightest trackie I've ever seen in my life. He looks like Ali G-esque. Talk to me about this trackie, Dad.
All it is, I've had a lot of criticism over the years. I've always had this thing about the clothes I wear, a very kind of what you call ghetto. I love baseball caps. I wear a baseball cap every day, baseball shirts, very loud clothes I love, and I don't know what it is. It's just, it suits me. I like this look. Everyone to their own. Some people walk around, kind of very somber, kind of very conservative clothing. I've never been that way. I've always been a bit outlandish, a bit loud, but I like it. I think it suits me.
One thing that I do admire you for in that way is like, you will walk around wearing whatever you feel like, won't you? I'd be like, oh my God, even if I loved it. Is it confidence or is it rebellious?
I don't think it's a What am I rebellion? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm Frankie Allen now. I mean, my character has kind of taken over me in normal life, where I used to be. My real name's Martin. Now, Martin was a very shy, retiring person, very, very quiet. When I got on the stage, I had this metamorphosis, just like the Incredible Hulk. I become someone else. But over the years, 30, 40 years of working, the actual stage persona can take you over, and it's kind of taken over me now, although I've always had like a penchant or whatever it's fucking called for wearing ghetto loud stuff. Loud, I just love it.
Yeah, it is a mad trackie, like. So if anyone isn't,
I think it looks good.
I prefer the other one, to be honest with you, but
well, that's your taste.
To their own,
this is me. This is me. I really don't give a fuck if somebody thinks, I mean, a lot of the times I go out, we're always working on the clubs. So I always wear a nice suit at the weekend. Yeah. So I'm one extreme to the other. I'm very, very street, or I'm not formal. I wear a lovely suit and I wear a kind of like, a t-shirt with a kind of a lovely crossing chain, a huge one right down in the middle of me belly, hanging down like P. Diddy. That's the way I am. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the fuck has gone on the last 10 or 15 years where people used to dress up in the 80s and 90s on a Saturday night. You'd see them going out with their girlfriends. Everyone's dressed to the nines. Now, people are going out. You see people going out on a Saturday night, men are dressed, they have like t-shirts which that you wouldn't even clean the fucking sink with.
Yeah, but you're just talking about people dressed less formal, aren't you? Like I've got my mate's wedding on Friday.
Yeah.
And
you're not going to go in a t-shirt,
yeah, but I haven't got a suit. I haven't got a blazer because that's still just not what I wear.
Yeah, but you have got a suit.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got a suit. You can wear it for a wedding. Yeah. Formal occasions, you've got to give people a bit of respect.
My dad's just
going to a funeral.
You're
going to a wedding.
Just have to gloss over that. My dad's, we went to a funeral the other day and I didn't have a suit for it. So me and my dad was ravaging around trying to find a suit, weren't we? And
we got one in the end between us, didn't we?
This is where I'm obviously, look, if anyone knows me, I pride myself on my appearance and what I wear. Where did we get the suit from?
We got the suit from the Asda. And I told him years ago when I was working the clubs, always got my suits from the Asda. They're a good shape. They look good. Cost you 40 fucking quid. We're all trying to save money. And you wore it for a funeral. It looked great.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're only wearing it for half a day, aren't you?
Yeah.
Anyhow, back into the business. We are back for episode 27 of the podcast, which is proudly sponsored by Skalptec.
Skalptec.
Skalptec is
cherry from Scalptec, Terry Jones. He's the main man there, the practitioner. Any worries about your hair, losing your hair, or you think, God, I wish my hairline could be a bit further forward, make me look younger, or you feel as though you're embarrassed, you're going out, you've got like a monkey's ass, a hole in the back of your fucking head, or it's going grey, get it, shave it all off, and get the scalp pigmentation. You won't regret it.
Scalptec, scalp micropigmentation, essentially a tattoo on your head. It looks absolutely unbelievable. My dad has had it done, so you can see that it looks spot on. And I wouldn't be advocating it, should I say. I wouldn't be promoting it if I didn't think it looked legit.
No, it's brilliant.
It looks sound.
That's why I took you with me.
Yeah.
When I first went to get it done, to see how authentic. I mean, some of the comments I've had. Fella said to me the other day, he said, Frankie, fucking hell, I know you told me you've had your head done, but it looks like 3D. It's so authentic. It looks as though if you wanted to, you could fucking grow it and you'd be like Lionel Richie. You could get on a piano singing fucking Hello.
Yeah.
That's how good it looks. It just looks as if you wanted to, you could grow a fucking big afro if you wanted to. I mean, obviously I can't but the illusion is it looks like real hair. I mean, how good is that?
If you're based in the Northwest, there's Scalptec centres all over the UK, but our mate, as he's the director, Terry Jones, aka what we call him, is Terry Scalptec.
We've nicknamed him Terry Scalptec.
He's based in
Nicky Scalptec.
He's based in Bearscough, an hour from Manchester City Centre, 50 minutes outside the Liverpool City Centre. To book him with Terry, the link will be in the description below. You can email him at info@terryscalp. I keep saying info@terryscalptec.com, info@skalptec.com, or you can give him a call on 0845 625 0025. Right. Big thanks for Scalptec for sponsoring the podcast. Let's get back into it. So, obviously, there's been loads of shows that we've done over the last 2 years and 2.5 years since we last recorded a podcast. And there's so many stories that people have missed out on because we weren't putting vlogs out, and now the vlogs are going back out. So first of all, let's just talk about some of the places that we've been to. We have been literally everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read some of these places out.
Yeah.
And, if there's anything that springs to mind, just let me know and we'll get to talking about it, right? So 2021, we did a show in Manchester. Now, that was a weird show. And do you want to know why?
Why?
Well, if you remember, we did this show in Manchester, right? And when we walked in, there was this sound tech there, and he was a sound fella.
Yeah.
And he had long hair, just black long hair. And he was one of them, hi, mate, how's it going? Just being normal and all that. So we did a full sound check with him. We did the show. And then one of my mates phoned me. And during the show, he was emailing every single one of our venues and messaging them, wasn't he? That was on the whole tour.
Slagging us, yeah.
Slagging us off.
Fucking prick.
Yeah. So
I wish we'd have known that on the night, I would have given him a fucking belt.
Yeah, I didn't know that I had.
Fucking hell. So he was caught, would have cost us work,
yeah,
really.
He was trying to sabotage us basically by saying the act was mad and just making up lies basically.
Yeah, well, you get a lot of that, don't you? You've had a lot of people passing comments, all these people. This is why, in a lot of ways, the internet is kind of dangerous. You've got these trolls who, I've read about sort of thing on the TV about these trolls trying to encourage people to take their own lives.
Yeah, scandalous.
What kind of fucking dickheads are they? So anybody, you get these messages of people, you are rubbish, I've had them all, you shouldn't be on the fucking stage. If you could trace that number, you went to where they lived, they'd just be a fucking dickhead sitting in a little fucking bedsit with a pair of glasses on, never goes out, like a paedophile, just like that, wanking all day. And when he stops wanking, they start going, oh, here's Frankie Allen. Frankie Allen, you are a disgrace. Who the fuck are they? Fuck off.
So, yeah, we were talking earlier on the last podcast about Liverpool is very insular and it's like its own country, and the people here are unbelievable. The city is unbelievable.
Well, look, it's an island. Yeah, it's like an island.
Yeah, a lot of Scousers do see kind of like the end of the world finishing in Liverpool, and we go everywhere. So it's a bit of a shock to people that are Scousers that are watching this, and obviously other people might know because they've seen us at shows. We've been to Manchester, Maidstone, Port Talbot, Darlington, Glasgow, Stoke, Rhyl, Wigan. That was the end of 2021. Rugby, Bexley, Congleton, Neston, Skelmersdale, Carlisle, Barrow, Coventry, Bolton. Now, just to, during that period of time, Dad, I'm looking at this is the start of 2022. We've got back-to-back Carlisle, Barrow, Coventry, Bolton, Blackwood. Yeah. You remember what Blackwood was?
Blackwood, where was that?
We did 3 shows in Blackwood.
What the fuck is Blackwood?
The Valleys.
Oh, when we were down to South Wales, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the bouncers there was Joe Calzaghe's mate, the boxer.
Oh, of course he was,
yeah. He used to train with him and things, yeah.
Blackwood, Wolverhampton, Blackpool, Billingham, Liverpool, Southport, Chester, But at that point in time, 2022, one of the reasons why we stopped doing these podcasts and vlogs was because we were so busy. I mean, we were doing at some point 700 tickets a show in these huge theatres all over the UK.
Billingham and all that, a huge theatre. All sold out up in the northeast. Yeah, we've done great, really.
It was a boss time.
But I always wanted to come back to work in a smaller venues, and I love the pubs and the clubs because you've got that intimacy that you haven't got in a theatre. I've said this before, in a theatre, it's kind of too easy. It's like being in the pictures, like a cinema. Everyone's in front of you. Nobody gets out of the seat. You can pick on people. You've got them. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Everyone's in front. When you've got a pub or a club, an old social club, people are walking around. You can pick on them when they go in the bar, when they're coming back. And you haven't got that kind of flow that you've got in a theatre. You just haven't got it.
Yeah. I mean, 2022 was just like a mad experience for me because as I'm reading out here, we did 51 shows in 2022. And they were everywhere. As I said, Liverpool shows are few and far between. I think we've got 2 on the list.
Yeah.
4 on the list or something like that. But some of the places that we go to visit are mad, aren't we?
People don't realise. I mean, I always say to people, for fear of contradicting myself, people say, Frankie, what's it like down south? Have they got our sense of humour? Do people laugh? It's the same everywhere. People will laugh everywhere if you're fucking funny. Having said that, certain places that you go to, you've got to say, people can be very, very different. You go to, and I've got to say, look, I'll mention a place. If anyone's from there watching this, don't take offence. We've done a place, and it was only on there probably last year or 18 months ago, and it was a place called Oswald Twistle.
I don't remember doing that.
It was North.
Oh, Colne.
We've done 2
shows in Colne.
Nelson and Colne, north to Burnley. Now, the people up there, they've got this funny accent. I was in the car park. They speak very, very strange.
Now, if you remember, the last time we did a show in Colne, I think we'd only sold 70% of the tickets or something. And bear in mind, there's a 600 capacity. It was sold out the time before. And I was like, what is going on here? Why have we only sold 70% of the tickets?
They had a big festival on the weekend, didn't they?
They all just go out.
They go out on that Saturday.
Instead
of buying tickets to see us, they go out to this fucking horse fair or some fucking thing. Where they're drinking all day. I'm looking at these fucking horses.
Are you sure it's horses? No, it's something else that's mad,
Well, anyway, let me just tell you. I'll tell you about the people up there. No disrespect to them. Just saying how different a lot of people are in the cities. You'll get people who are kind of smart and up to date, well dressed. I'm getting pictures taken at the end of this fucking show, and I see some people in the queue. This fella walked up to me. He had a fucking suit on.
I remember
and
him.
A fucking big pair of boots, hobnail boots with the suit on a Saturday night. And on his face, he had these sideburns coming down, going right down to his mouth, like something from 1850, like something from 200 years ago.
Yeah.
And he went, hello, Frankie. I said, all right, mate. And I'm looking at him and I thought, what the fuck? And I thought, I've got to say something to him. I couldn't say, how come you're dressed like it's 100 years ago? I just said to him, yeah, you've got your looking at the sideburns there, your sideboard are coming in and all that.
Your sideburns are coming in?
Yeah, I went,
that's a mad thing to say to a grown man.
No, I meant to say to him, You're doing well with your side. You know, they're looking good. Trying to say they're looking good. Well. And I expected him to say, no, what it is, Frankie. What it is, I'm an extra in a film. And I've been doing, I had to grow these because I'm in a film about 1850 down the mill.
Go on.
Instead of saying that, he went, oh, yes, he said, I've got me sideburns. I keep up with the fashion. I went, fucking hell. And then a few people down, this bird come up and she was quite pretty, nice, blonde hair and all that. And I was talking to her, looking at it, and I went, no, she hasn't got a fucking moustache, has she? She hasn't got I can't, but so I'm looking at her, different angles in the light, and she had a fucking blonde moustache. So I thought, there are certain places which are behind the fucking times.
I remember speaking to that fella, though. He was actually like, he was aware of the fact that he was wearing old style clubber. He just said that's what he likes. And it ties into what you were saying at the start. Like, if you like wearing what you want to wear, do your thing, you know what I mean?
I'll but if one person, but in that room, there were hundreds of people who were the same. You know, people are very, very different in different parts of the UK.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, they laugh the same sense of humour, but they have different traditions, different way of life, different wearing.
Obviously, we love Liverpool, we love where we're from, right?
Yeah.
But apart from that, obviously we travel to so many different places. Is there anywhere that has really got a piece of your heart where you go, I love that place, it's boss?
Yeah, well, Liverpool is a great crowd, but you'll get more hecklers in Liverpool than you win everywhere else. They all shout out the same fucking thing.
What time's the comedian
coming on?
Yeah.
Fucking dickheads. You don't really get heckled to the same extent in other places.
Glasgow,
Newcastle
you get a bit.
and Manchester. Get a little bit.
Not as bad as Liverpool. Liverpool's the worst for hecklers.
Once you have a go back at them, they do shut up.
Yeah.
But people... I don't know. In the cities, you'll get a little bit of heckling. When you get in the countryside, nobody bothers. They're too nice. The people are dead nice.
Yeah. I mean, the places like, I love it down when we go to like Carlisle and Barrow and places like that, and like, it's proper oldie worldy.
It's oldie worldy. You know, I mean, I remember being up in Barrow in Fairness in this place right up in the mountains in the Lake District.
Yeah.
In 1983. I was only a bit of a kid, but I was working on the clubs then. Yeah. This is just to show people the difference in different parts of the UK. Now, this is true. So I walked into this club and a fella came up to me and he went, hello, Frankie. Right. How long do you do? And I said, well, I'll do about half an hour, 45 minutes. Oh, that's great. So I said, are you the compere, the MC for the night? No. I said, are you the secretary of the club? He said, no. I said, oh. He said, I'm the pieman. I said, what do you mean, mate? I'm the pieman. He said, come here. And he showed me behind the fucking bar a huge fucking oven, a glass oven with hundreds of pies, black pudding and fucking peas. What happens here, Frankie? After the turn's gone on at 9 o'clock, we have peas, pie, pasties and black pudding. We've had some acts on here. They've gone on. They've died on their ass. They've been on for 10 minutes. Pies are fucking freezing.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So, what I'm asking you, if you could do at least half an hour, I'll leave the pies, the pasties, the black pudding on gas mark 3. So they'll be lovely and warm. By the time you come off, they'll flood to the bar, they'll flood it, and they'll all have the paper plates, and they'll have the pies. But if you come off early, they'll be fucking freezing. I said, fucking hell. I said, okay. I said, look, I'll do at least 25 minutes. I promise you. I'll do half an hour, 40 minutes. Right. I'll leave you on gas mark 4. Now then, Frankie, what happens if you're struggling? So as a joke, I said to him, switch the gas up. And he went, oh, good point. I'll turn the gas up if you're struggling. Anyway, I went on. There was a fucking bird in the audience to be married that day, was swigging a fucking big bottle of Newcastle Brown and started dancing as I was telling jokes.
Yeah.
No music, just fucking dancing to the jokes.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. So I come off and they were a funny crowd. They weren't laughing at the jokes, But a fella walked past with big ears, and I just said, look at his ears. The whole place was screaming, howling, laughing, like a fucking bomb had gone off. So then started telling jokes. No laughing again. No laughing for 5 minutes. So I said, where's the fella with the big ears? Huge laughter again. It's Tommy. It's Tommy. He's got big ears. Fucking hell. Came off stage. In the dressing room, there was 2 big paper plates full of pies, pasty, fucking black pudding, sausage rolls, fucking everything. And when I come out of the dressing room, big queue at the bar, hundreds of people getting the pies, and I got my suit together, and I'm walking out of the place, and the fella who was the pie man, he ran after me, and he went, Frankie, I can't thank you enough. Pies are done to a fucking turn. I went, for fuck's sake. That's true.
Boss that. I know people are very different, aren't they?
People are very different. Now, this is something that should be on a TV, on YouTube. I've been watching these things about time slips.
Yeah.
There was one in Liverpool in Bowl Street a few years ago. Strange things, or people being transported through time and space. Now, this is 1988. I'm working in this club in Newcastle, and it's in Byker, a place called Byker, Byker. It's a bit rough, a place in Newcastle. I won't name the fucking club. But, so get into this club, and I'm on, got a girl singer on. During the night, they have a raffle. And in a lot of the places in Newcastle, people won't believe this, they have a raffle, and they raffle, and they do the bingo, and the prizes are fucking big joints of meat.
Yeah.
Like half a fucking cow, pig's head.
Where's this again?
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Pig's heads and stuff like that. You just wouldn't believe it. The whole bar or the whole counter in front of the stage looks like a butcher's.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I walked in, and right in the middle, it was like a Labour club, right in the middle of the fucking floor between the stage and where the chairs started, the seats, was a car. A fucking big car.
Yeah.
So anyway, a fella come in the fucking dressing room with a cap on, and he went, "Oh, Frankie," you know the way he talk up there. Yeah. "I'll put you on your first spot. Put you on the first spot at 9:15. I said, yeah. I said, what's happening with the car? He went, aye, we do a big raffle prize once a year. He said, this year, a car is the prize. I said, oh, fucking brilliant. So anyway, I'm on stage and I'm looking around, and I nearly had a funny turn because I'm looking around a fucking club. There was no doorway that the car could have come through.
Yeah.
There was no window. I looked up, there was a ceiling, and I thought, but he couldn't lower it through the fucking ceiling. And I said, I know in the dressing room, they've got a door leading out into the back fucking car park, a very narrow door. So I'm talking to, and I'm on a stage telling jokes, and I'm looking at this fucking big car. And I thought, how did they get this fucking car into this club? So I had to say to myself, don't think of the car, because it was doing me head in. It's making me feel ill.
Is it in front of the stage while you're telling jokes?
It's in front of the stage. I think it was like a fucking Ford Capri or something, a four-door fucking car with a big bonnet. And when you look around the room, there was a small door where people had come through. There was a double door, but it was like 5 foot wide. You couldn't get a fucking car through it.
Yeah.
And there were stairs going down.
Yeah.
So my head's gone, and I'm thinking, how the fuck? So I thought, just blanket, don't think about the car. So I'm in the dressing room at the second spot. Everything went well. It was a great night. So the fella came in and he paid me. So I said, listen, mate, I said, I'm not being funny. You're going to do the raffle now for the car, aren't you? Aye. I said, yeah. I said, how did you get the car in the club?
Yeah.
Oh, he said, I don't know. He said, but I'll find out. So he fucked off, and he was talking to one of the girls behind the bar. Then he come back and he went, hi, Frankie, you've got a point. I don't know how the car got here. He said, I've just spoke to one of the girls, and she said, oh no, Terry Williams organised it, and he's in Tenerife.
Oh, fucking hell.
I said, okay. So I said, so you don't know how it got in the club? Oh, he said you'd have to ask Terry. And he's not back here till next Wednesday. And I went, fuck this, I'm freaking out here. And on the way home, I'm driving home, it was pitch black, driving across the fucking moors, and I felt very, very weird. And even to this day, I don't know how that fucking car got in the club.
There will be someone who's listening or watching this podcast who knows that club and will be able to tell us how the car got in the club. Make sure you let us know in the comments or send us a message on any of Frankie's social media accounts. How do you reckon it got in there?
I don't know. I have no idea how that fucking big car got in the club. I walked around it. There was stairs going down to... The only thing I could think...
off. There was stairs. It was upstairs.
It was upstairs.
Come on. That's mad.
I don't know how it got there.
That's mad. Right. Just looking at other shows and other venues that we've done here. I mean, there's some places on here we've just glossed past the Valleys. People always used to say to me, the Valleys is mad, but the Valleys was mad when we went there, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, there were great crowds there, though, aren't they? They're really lovely people in South Wales.
Unbelievable.
They're dead friendly, and they're very, very kind of like, they like to interact the crowd. You know, they're heckling, but they're not like vindictive. They're not horrible heckling you. They're kind of nice, you know, in a nice way.
In a lovely way.
I loved it down there, the Valleys, yeah.
Been to Skegness, Redditch, Crewe, flipping everywhere. Mexborough, that was cool, wasn't it? Cannock, the Prince of Wales Theatre we did there. We've recently been to Essex.
Yeah.
At the back end of last year, we did a show at the Circus Tavern in Essex.
Yeah.
A lot of people listening to this or watching this will know the Circus Tavern as one of the most reputable venues in the UK. It was like a big deal, wasn't it?
The Circus Tavern, you don't really remember it as it was. The Circus Tavern was the biggest prestige venue at one stage in the UK.
Yeah.
And it's still huge even now, even though all the cabaret scene from the 70s, 80s, 90s has more or less died away. It was, if you wanted to make it, you were on the Circus Tavern in Purfleet only if you were a big-time star, you know, Shirley Bassey, Tom Jones, all the big, Bob Monkhouse, all the main stars of the 70s and 80s, they all appeared there. You know, if you're a normal comic, you could never get near it, you know, and we done it.
We did a show there recently. You will have seen the vlog, right? But let me just give you the kind of like behind-the-scenes, backstage vibe of what that event was like. Unbelievable show. I mean, my dad had always said, like, we've done shows in Watford, we've done shows in Maidstone in Kent, we've done shows like kind of like outskirts of London. But that show in Essex was like kind of like a real marker, wasn't it? Because it was kind of, you know, showed us. You were saying, oh, you're not sure how it was going to go down, weren't you?
But what it was with me, you see, because of kind of like getting a little bit older and I've worked at clubs that long and I've done it for so long on my own in the 80s, 90s and things, this was before the phones, you know, the YouTube and the internet and all this business came into play. So in my mind, really, I still think it's 1986.
Yeah.
So we're driving down to this Purfleet, it's called, in London, outside of London, the Circus Tavern. And in my mind, to me anyway, it was like going to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So I was quite nervous in a way. And I kept saying to you, you know, have we sold any tickets for this job?
Yeah.
I was quite scared, thinking, I don't want to, how did they know me? You know, years ago, everything was like word of mouth, where people would recommend you to a pub or a club or somebody would ring up a place in Manchester. I've got a good comedian. So it was all word of mouth. Now everything kind of explodes on the internet, but I'm still not completely on it. So on the way down to London, I was feeling nervous. And we got about 5 miles outside the venue, and I said, listen, Will, do they fucking know me here? Is this place going to be fucking empty? And he went, no, they all know you, it's sold out. And I went, yeah, it's sold out, but who else is on? Thinking that there was a fucking big star on. And he went, Will said, no, it's just you, Dad. I went, are you sure they've sold tickets? And he went, yeah, it's sold out. So we're driving into the fucking car park at 4 o'clock. I wasn't on stage till 9. And there was a gang of young lads outside. And I said, oh, there's some lads here. they must be like playing pool or something, or there must be a fucking football match on. And the next thing is, they ran over to the car, knocking on the window. Frankie, can we have a picture? And I went, fucking hell. I was like I don't know, like fucking, like Justin Bieber.
I
got out the fucking car and I still got a bit of a shock. And I still couldn't understand. And we got in and he went, Frank, a picture. My lad's a big fan of yours. And I went, fucking hell. And I'm only just realising now the power of the internet and phones, you know. It can make or break you. The video that somebody took of me, 2017, which was released in 2018, someone's phone went viral, just literally gone all over the fucking world.
Yeah. And this stuff helps as well. The podcast, the vlogs.
Podcasts help. You know, and I've got like a lifetime of stories that I haven't been able to tell because I wasn't known, I wasn't famous, nobody knew me. So all the stories I could tell me mates in the pubs and things, strange things that had happened to me, like that story about the car in Newcastle in a club, but there were no doors for it to drive through. And people now are going, fucking hell, did that really happen? That really happened.
Yeah.
You know, we were working, I got a job. This was like in the 80s when it was quite sectarian in Northern Ireland, you know, a lot of stuff going on and things. And an agent rang me up asking me to do a job in Northern Ireland in Belfast. So I said, okay. And the guy rang me up and he went, Frankie said, they're doing this job for me. It's in Belfast and all that, you know. So I said, okay, so-and-so, so-and-so. And his name, I won't mention his name just in case he's still knocking about or whatever, but he had the same name as a very famous boxer who's also from Northern Ireland, very similar name. So we got over there and he warned me, he said, Frankie, be careful. He said, you're doing this show tonight. He said, the lads that you're doing it for, they're a bit sectarian. He said, they will ask you what religion you are.
Yeah.
I thought, how the fuck can anyone ask you what religion you are? So they were lovely people, had a great night, having a drink with them at the bar. I was drinking then. I'm fucking rotten drunk, singing songs. One of the lads went in the kitchen, came out with sausages and bacon, drinking till 5 a.m. All of a sudden, this guy goes, Frankie, some fine schools in England. What schools do your kids go to? Wanted to see what religion it was.
Got you.
So I knew it'd been tipped off that they were all kind of like Ulsterman, you see. So I didn't want to say I was a Catholic. So I just said, oh, they just go to an ordinary school. But then he started having a go at me trying to find out. So the things that are going on in the British Isles, you could never believe, you know, even 20 years ago, you'd never think that could happen. Someone could ask you your religion. So where I was staying was in the Catholic part of Belfast. So they said, they were convinced in the end, I'd convinced them that I wasn't a Catholic, you know. And they went, okay. So when it came for me to go home at 6 a.m, they said, you're going home, where is your hotel? I said, the Falls Road in Belfast. Fuck, don't be going there. Don't be going there. You'll be fucking killed, Frankie. And one of the guys said, I'll give you the lift back there. Get in the back of my fucking car. So I'm in the back of this car like that.
Go on.
Yeah, because he was an Ulsterman, you know, he's Protestant. He's driving the car, but he wouldn't drive on the M1, on the motorway, because it was too dangerous.
Okay.
So we had to go through all the A roads and the B roads, and he just opened the door and said to me, get out here, Frankie. And I had to run into this fucking hotel, the Green and Lodge Hotel in like fucking Belfast, which is like a big Catholic area, you know, the Falls Road it was called. But the other place that I'd been in, which is Bangor, I think it was called, was all Protestant. And it's like when I got home, I thought, well, I did something about like the orange and the green in Liverpool, but never to that extent, you know, where you'd be like smuggled into cars. And I've been to places like that where you kind of like, when I did Ireland, it very like a tense atmosphere. So, you know, I've lived a fantastic life and I could write a book. I could tell so many stories. People literally wouldn't believe what's happened to me.
Belter, so listen, let us know if you're watching the podcast or you listen to it. Do we continue to do these podcasts with just me and my dad? You know, we've got lots of friends who are like notable people who'd be great as guests. But I think, considering we've done the first 2 back, it's kind of flown with just me and you. And I am interested in hearing more of these stories all the time.
There's some great stories. I mean, a great story that you like as well. You know, the day that you were born, I was working with 3 strippers in Manchester.
Yeah.
And, sorry, not the day you were born. Yeah, the day you were born. I was working with these strippers in Manchester, and I had to leave early because your mum was having you. I had to get to the hospital and things like that. And it's just huge things that happen in your life. With me, I can always equate it and always remember, you know, people say, where were you when, you know, the Queen died, or where were you when Kennedy got shot?
Where were you when the Twin Towers collapsed? I was in Edge Lane Curry's with you. It was all over every telly.
Really?
In Kensington, yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And we were looking for a telly, were we, to buy?
We used to go there after school, didn't we? Like round Fatty Arbuckles and that. And then we walked in there and it was all over the telly and you were going, what's happening here? Yeah.
It's strange, really, because people always say, where were you when this happened and that happened and that happened? And when they actually happen and you're somewhere, you don't remember it really the next day. But years later, it'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So it is fascinating, really, isn't it? But I mean, we're doing fantastic now around the clubs. I mean, the amount of people that we've met thousands of people, haven't we?
Yeah. We do a meet and greet.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
I just want to give people an insight now. All the tickets for Frankie's shows, you know, with me as MC, and if we have a support comic too, all available to buy tickets at frankieallen.co.uk. There's loads of shows on sale now. We've got Father's Day in Liverpool. We're everywhere from Hull, Birmingham, Nuneaton, Rill. We're all over the UK. But the show's actually fantastic itself. You know, I MC the show. My dad does 2 performances. Sometimes we have a support comic on too. He does an encore. He sings a song, Sweet Caroline, which you like doing,
at the end, I love Sweet Caroline, yeah. And where we've got to be careful with Sweet Caroline is we can't really record it, can we?
Well, it's weird. He put it out on YouTube. He takes all the dough off us, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Neil
because
Diamond.
I was watching watching YouTube last night, and this fella came on. It wasn't a podcast. It was like a documentary. It was just like him on his own in a studio, and he was talking, and he was showing you this clip, and he said, I can't show you the original music.
Yeah, because it'll get copyrighted.
So he had to put this other fucking sad, stupid music on that wasn't even...
Well, that's why on the vlogs, if anyone watches them, when my dad gets up on stage to sing at the end, it's like all this mad,
yeah, well, people
music.
have said to me, Frankie, you get up singing, and then it's as though you're singing, like with no voice.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, because it's muted. Because if we sang, then we'd be getting fucking sued.
Yeah, we wouldn't get sued. We get the copyright taken off us.
Copyright.
But yeah, as you say, but at the end of every show, we do a meet and greet. We do a meet and greet free of charge for every single person in the room. It's a chance for people to get a photograph on the phone, to meet me dad, to meet me, to have a laugh, to be able to chat, to be able to share their story. You know, that's a great touch at the end of the night. And as you said, we've met thousands of people, cartoon characters who run shows, mad people who we'll talk about in future shows.
Crazy people in every town, every city, every area of the UK. You've got what I call prominent people that everybody knows for miles around. And as you say, they're like cartoon characters, real kind of like extravagant, kind of like larger than life people.
Yeah.
And they're always, we won't mention them by name.
I've got a few in my head.
You've got a few in your head who are people who are just, if you met them on a one-to-one, you go, this fella's fucking mental. He's crazy. He's a nutter. And these are people who are booking shows.
Yeah. Or own venues.
Who own venues. Yeah. And, you know, I've met people who've been like fucking tramps. And I've said to them, you know, you're all right, mate, and all that, with all air coming out of, and they go, yeah, you know, yeah, this is my venue. I own this, and I own a few other fucking clubs. Yeah. People you'd never think had any money, but are millionaires.
Listen, just want to wrap this up now. Big thanks to everyone who's been listening or watching. Dad, are you enjoying these podcasts? Are you glad
this
to have them back?
This podcast today has been like a breath of fresh air for me, because I've had a few problems lately. I won't go into detail. Very sad things have happened. But this is great. And I really feel as though we're back to where we were a couple of years ago, where we were enjoying the podcasts. People, they were very popular, very much in demand. Everybody was asking me all the time, When's the next podcast coming about? When's it out? Can't wait for the next one. So we've started now. We're on a bit of a roll, and I'm sure, at the moment anyway, I think me and you are working fantastic together.
Yeah, it's a belter. So new podcasts out every week. Please write us a review if you're on Apple Podcasts or wherever you are listening to it right now. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumb up, get yourself subscribed. Vlogs out every Tuesday at 7:00 and new podcast out every week. And you'll be informed of what that time and date is by the time this podcast goes out. So if you want to book Frankie for a show, for your show or venue, we have the greatest show on the road, don't we?
We've got a fantastic night. Normally we've got Jack Ryan on with us as a sport comedian. I do a show. I go on and do about 40 minutes, 35 minutes of first half. Then we have a break. I go back on. Then I come back on for what you call a false tab. Everybody shouts more. Come back on, do another 25 minutes. Finish off singing Sweet Caroline. The whole of the audience is rocking. It's a brilliant night. You've got a lot of the birds there coming to catch a glimpse of my handsome son. So it's a great night. You've got a few old ones coming, looking at me like that, Frankie. And I just go, fuck off. So that's what it's like. It's a great night. Fantastic. Everyone enjoys it. Everyone goes home happy. Value for fucking money. I mean, a lot of these comics now, if I could just say this, I don't know what it is. I spoke to a comedian, I won't mention his name, and he said, I'm working in Sheffield over Christmas. I said, great. I'm doing the Civic fucking Centre. I said, great. He said, you've only got to do 20 minutes. Then you can fuck off. I'm back home by 10 o'clock. And I said to him, it's not even worth going to do the fucking show. If you're only going to dip your toe in the water, get home as soon as you fucking can, to lie on the bed watching the fucking news. The difference with me is I go to the venue. Every performance that I put on is as though my life depended on it. I put everything into the show, and that's why. And Will is probably the best MC in the UK at the moment. He's brilliant, fantastic, gets everyone quiet, gels it together, introduces everybody. So it's the heads and tails, a brilliant night. So we've got a fantastic product, and that's why it's very popular.
Nice one. If you want to book me dad for a show, if you want to book the Frankie Allen Show live, you can contact me, will@hittheaccelerator.com. Email will be below in the description. All tickets on sale now at www.frankieallen.co.uk. We are all over the UK. And listen, finally, huge thanks to our podcast sponsors, Scalptec. Couldn't be doing this without them. If you need to have your hair seen to and you are considering micropigmentation treatment.
Let me just tell you this, and I'm not going to give my age away. I'm very funny about my age. But I went out just after I'd had my head done the following week, and I was working on a club, but I went into a bar next door just to have a little bit of, peace, a little bit of quiet on my own. And I walked up to the bar, and a barmaid came over, and I ordered a drink, and she said to me, have you got any ID?
Felt it.
And I said, excuse me, love. She said, you have to be over 18. She said, you have to be over 18. I said, excuse me, love, if you don't mind, I am over 18. So she called a bouncer over. He came over. He said, what's wrong, mate? And I said, she's saying I'm not over 18. And he went, I'm not being funny, mate. You are not fucking 18. I said, I'm fucking over 18, mate. He said, you'll have to fucking go. And I got fucking thrown out. Because I didn't look 18.
Wait. Nice one. Big thanks to everyone for listening. Huge thanks to our podcast sponsor, Scalptec. If you want to get booked in, if you are considering micro pigmentation on your hair line, if you're losing it, if you just want to top up with your hair, please feel free to contact Terry at Scalptec. All the information will be in the description below. And he's a great mate of ours. Please tell him that we sent you and he will be able to hook you up. So listen, new podcasts out every week. So grateful for anyone who's listened or watched this till the end. Without you, we can't make this happen. Without you buying tickets, watching, listening, doing your thing. You know, me and my dad don't get the chance to have great times like this. And, you know, these are going to be memories that are going to last for a long time. And it's thanks to you people. So big, big thanks. We'll catch you on the next one. Enjoyed it, Dad?
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Been very good, very entertaining. And what can I say? Nothing's been exaggerated. All these stories are true.
Nice one, people. Catch you on the next episode. Really genuinely appreciate your support. See you next time.
See you later, everyone.